So the first thing is we're looking at the area of a triangle. The idea on area triangle is to make it easy, find your 90 degrees. Sometimes it's inside the triangle, sometimes outside, sometimes at the corner. Find your 90 degrees. In this case, it's made by the numbers 4.8 and 9. I'm looking at the two numbers that make the 90 degrees. I'm going to multiply them, 4.8 times 9. And whatever I get, I'm going to divide it by 2. Right. Multiply the two numbers. Some people call them base and height or length and width. So multiply the two numbers across the 90 degrees, divided by 2. In this case, I get 21.6. That's it. Looking at a rectangle, look at the two numbers across a 90 degrees. I know there's 4 90-degree symbol. Pick any of them. Whichever corner you choose, you're going to end up getting the same two numbers. So I'm going to choose this corner at the top right. The two numbers across the 90 degrees are 2 and 3.5. I'm going to multiply those two numbers. 2 times 3.5. I do not divide by 2. Right, on the triangle, I divided by 2 because a triangle, it's half of a rectangle. Question number 2, I want the whole rectangle. So I'm just going to go 2 times 3.5, and that gives me 7. And that's it. Any questions on these two? No? Now, let me take a look at 2 questions here. Questions 3 and 4. Now, the area of a circle, the formula is going to be radius squared. So radius times pi. Right, radius squared pi. That's the area of a circle. So I see my radius here is 9. So I'm going to get 81, right? 9 squared, or 9 times 9. That's 81 times pi. But because it says use your calculator's value of pi, run your answer to the nearest tenth, we're going to look at pi as a decimal. I'm going to estimate it to be 3.14. Some calculators have the key pi. Just multiply them. So I'm just going to go 81 times 3.14. According to my calculator, I get 254.34. But I'm asking to round it to the nearest tenth. The second decimal place is too small, so I'm going to ignore it. So I get 254.3. So again, I'm using pi as a decimal because it says use your calculator's value of pi. Calculators tend to estimate, so they tend to deal with decimals. Now looking at question number 4, find the area of a regular polygon. We learned a formula. It was the perimeter times the apothem divided by 2. The perimeter for this case, because it's a regular polygon, each side is 16. I see the 16 there. I count the sides. There's 7 of them. So for me to find a perimeter, I'm going to go 16 times 7. That's the perimeter. The apothem in this case is 16.6, which you guys can see the apothem. And whatever I get, I'm going to divide it by 2. So I'm going to go 16 times 7 times 16.6 and divided by 2. So this gives me 929.6. Right? Not bad. Perimeter times apothem divided by 2. One thing in here, though, for number 4, it works for all polygons. So a triangle, let me see if I can find a triangle here. A triangle is also a polygon. I know for question number 1, we multiplied the two numbers across the 90 degrees, but one of the things that we had was that one of my sides was from one side all the way to the other corner. If you notice, this one is not the altitude of the triangle. And when I look at it, that is the apothem. Don't think it is half of the altitude, because the half of the altitude, I'm looking at this thing, the half of it is somewhere around here, which is not the apothem. So if it is halfway there, or not halfway there, but a little less than half, which is the apothem, use perimeter times apothem divided by 2. A triangle is a polygon. I'm looking at polygons in general. All right, now my last question I'm going to work is what we saw yesterday, the area of a sector. So first up, I need to see how much of the circle I have. And I'm going to say I have 240 out of 360. And I'm going to multiply this by the area of the circle. The radius is 15. Thank you. Oh, you know what? She's not here today. Okay. When I multiply by the area of the circle, I see the radius is 15. So I'm going to say the area of the circle is 225 pi. Because 15 squared, right? 15 times 15, that's where I got the 225. I'm going to make it a fraction. I'm dealing with fractions. I am leaving pi as a pi because I'm dealing with fractions. That's going to give me a decimal. All right, now simplify as much as you can. The first fraction, let me cancel out the zero, so divide by 10. 24 over 36. Let me divide each by 12. 2 over 3. I know I multiply straight, so that means I can simplify diagonal. The 3 and the 225, I can simplify that way. Let me divide each by 3. 225 divided by 3 gives me 75. Now on the top, I have 2 times 75 pi, which is 150 pi. At the bottom, I have 1 times 1. Now my fraction, 150 over 1, that can just be called 150 pi. Right? Some fractions sometimes will round out to a whole number. Sometimes they don't, right? Sometimes they simplify the fraction. Now, the way I will write it is 150 pi. Some of your answers will be rounded to a whole number. Some others will not.